Welcome to our 5-minute Bible study today. We are, of course, continuing our study in the book of Revelation. Our last couple of times together, we've been looking at chapter 13 in that book, and we're seeing that this chapter is a tale of two beasts. We've already looked at the first beast that the dragon called forward out of the sea. We've seen this beast represents the state or the government when it exalts itself above Christ. It is also the spirit of Antichrist. But now there's also a second beast, and that's what we turn to now. So let me read a few verses beginning at verse 11 in chapter 13. Then I saw a second beast. It came out of the earth. It had two horns like a lamb, but it spoke like a dragon. It exercised all the authority of the first beast on its behalf. And it made the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast, whose fatal wound had been healed. It performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven to the earth in full view of the people. Because of the signs it was given the power to perform on behalf of the first beast, it deceived the inhabitants of the earth. It ordered them to set up an image in honor of the beast who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. The second beast was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast, so that the image could speak, and it caused all who refused to worship the image to be killed. All right, the second beast is also called forth by the dragon, but it comes out of the earth, where the first beast had come out of the sea. It's a little different. This beast exists to serve the interest of the first beast. It says it has horns like a lamb. That is, it is attempting to imitate the Lamb of God. But it speaks like a dragon. That is, it speaks with the authority and the power of the enemy, that great serpent, the devil. Now notice it causes the world to worship the first beast. So what do we have going on here? I think what we have in this second beast is what could be called the spirit of false religion. Religion that causes people to worship man rather than God. Religion that causes people to worship the state rather than the Lord who sits on the throne of heaven. Now remember, in the first century, the Roman Empire represented, as it were, the spirit of the first beast. And this empire under the power of Caesar would from time to time persecute the church and persecute Christians. And one of the things that Caesar demanded was that people worship him and say, Caesar is Lord. But of course, the Christians could not do that, for only Jesus was Lord. But now the Roman Empire had an apparatus set up to enforce this worship. They had a temple cult throughout the empire, temples dedicated to the worship of Caesar. And citizens were required to go at least once a year, burn incense to Caesar and say, Caesar is Lord. So it was this cult of Caesar, this temple apparatus that in John's time was the second beast, causing people to worship the first beast. The second beast still exists whenever you have religion that serves the interest of man rather than the interest of God. When you have religion causing you to worship the state rather than to worship the God of heaven, that is the second beast. It's false religion tied to the despotic power of the state that deceives people into worshiping man rather than God. Notice it says the second beast, we know it's false religion because it even has power to perform fake miracles. The second beast caused great signs, even fire, to come down from heaven in full view of the people. Because of the signs, the fake, false miracles, it deceived the world. Now remember, Jesus in Matthew 24 told us that there will be false messiahs and there will be false prophets who even have power to do signs and wonders that will deceive almost the elect. So in other words, false religion exists to deceive people and to pull people away from God, even sometimes performing fake miracles. Remember that Moses, when he was in that conflict with Pharaoh, saying, let my people go. Even the magicians of Pharaoh could sometimes fake the miracles or fake the signs and the wonders that Moses was doing by the power of God. So you've got to be careful of fake miracles and fake signs. You got to be careful of false religion that causes you or tries to deceive you into worshiping man or man-made things rather than God. Later on in the book of Revelation, this second beast will be called the false prophet. The false prophet. That's how we know it's false religion. So here we have in Revelation these two beasts. The first is when the state says, worship me rather than God. That's the first beast. The second beast is when religion says, worship man rather than God. That's false religion. So we must always keep our focus on Jesus. Only Jesus is worthy of our worship. Only Jesus is worthy of our ultimate allegiance. And these warnings of the two beasts remind us there will be those who attempt to deceive us. So we must always keep our focus on the Lamb of God. And we worship Him and Him alone. That's how we will be saved. All right, tomorrow we're going to look a little more at this second beast because he causes a mark to be placed upon people who are in allegiance to him. It's called the mark of the beast. And there's a number associated with it. But we'll look at that tomorrow. I think you'll find that interesting. Today I want you just to have a great day. I hope you have a blessed day. And may you always be true to the Lamb of God. For our safety is when we worship only Him. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day.